Oh my god.
What's going on, guys? Got a little time after work today. We had some rain this morning, so it kind of cut the day short, but it's absolutely beautiful out now. As you can see, it's sunny and blue skies now. I'm going to work on the dash. So the dash in Malibu was torn bad, cracked all the way around, top, bottom. I mean, in really bad shape, but it's hard to justify spending like $1,000 on a new dashboard when you can buy these covers. They make like a dash cover that it's basically ABS plastic. It wraps around the entire old dash and covers all the problem areas, and it tucks into the corners. The AC ducts go back over top of it, so kind of holds it all in place, and you epoxy it on when you put it on. And honestly, it's not that important of a piece to me. Yes, I want it to look good, but I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a new dashboard. This thing's like 179 bucks. It'll look fantastic when I'm done with it. I'm going to build like block off plates where the radio used to be for switch panel and all that kind of stuff, and where the actual gauge panel cluster used to be is just going to be the Holley Dominator screen. So I'm just going to smooth the center of the dash, put a plexiglass panel in, probably wrap it in carbon fiber so it looks nice instead of clear plastic, and that's about it. So it's just a couple little tricks you can do on these little dash covers. They don't fit great, I'll tell you that. So like on the top of the dash, where normally your defroster would go up on your windshield, you have a slot on each side. Well, the slot's a little smaller on the aftermarket piece. So, but you can go in and clean out the excess material and actually make it look a lot nicer. So if you're willing to spend a little extra time on it, and I'll show you what I mean. So right here is you can see the slot, which would be your defroster when the car was original. Well, you can see the old dash underneath sticking out right there. So if you just go in with like a rotary rasp and just clean that out, it just makes it so much nicer. Like this, when you look straight on, you don't see the old dash now, you just see the new piece. Whereas that, you can see the old piece. So you get in there with a little rasp, clean that out, just gives you a cleaner product. I don't mind doing a little extra work, especially on days like today. Weather kind of messed up work, so I can get some stuff like this done. So it's just little stuff, and it comes in flat black. I might actually vinyl dye it satin so it has a little shine to it. I painted these ducks satin the other night, and this one, and I like this color black better than I like this. This is almost flat, but it leaves like fingerprints and stuff in it. The satin has just enough of a smooth surface to it that you can wipe it clean, and you can clean it, forever type of thing. So, but not bad. Had a couple spots the epoxy didn't take, so I put some more underneath of it and taped them down today. And then, like you can see, this overhangs just a little bit. Just take the same rasp, clean that even all the way around. Now that it's glued and it's tight, it's not going anywhere now. So I'll take this rasp, clean around those edges, and then the dash pan will fit right in. This is where I'm talking about. I'm putting just a flat plexiglass plate from the back. I left a lip in here when I put this together, so when you flip the dash over, I can cut a piece of plexiglass that'll sit flat. So it'll be, 1/4 inch recessed in. I'll have my ignition button, ignition switch, and fuel pumps and fans and all that stuff. Anything that's not controlled by the Holley Dominator will be controlled here. I'll reuse, so the factory dash, I'm only going to clean out the top and put the Holley dash in. I'll still have the headlight switch down here, and I can't remember what's on this side, but I'll reuse and repurpose any kind of holes. This hole right here was the hood pop, so I'll repurpose that, and there'll be a switch of some kind in there. I still have to do the glove box, so I gotta, now that it's kind of fitted, I'll go around and trim, clean it up real nice all the way around. set the glove box in, you know, make any adjustments I need to for the glove box, and probably just going to, so this cover only goes to here. Same thing on this side. Probably just going to trim the dash off. All this was for was the ashtray to mount. So you don't see any of this. The dash sits almost down to the trans tunnel. So I'm probably just going to cut that out just like that, smooth, and do the same thing on the other side. It'll just kind of make that disappear. But yeah, I'm going to get in and just kind of clean out these edges in the AC where the defrosters used to be and just kind of make it look clean. I'll throw a little time lapse together, just kind of set my phone up behind me and let it go while I play with it. Something to do, really. See, you can't see any of the old dash sticking out through the holes in here. You can see the old dash all the way around. So came out pretty good. Made a plexiglass panel for here. That's going to eventually have like push button start, power switch to turn the car on. I'm not going to put a radio in the car, I doubt, but I think I am going to place things to where I could if I wanted to. Part of the reason for building this car is I've always wanted to do drag week, power tour, where you go show up at the first track, take your car in, make a pass, then you have to drive like 200 miles to the next track. So it's a endurance race as well as, so you're at 5 tracks over like 7 days, 8 days or whatever, and they average your fastest time at each track, and that determines the winner. So no intentions of winning. If you've ever watched drag week, there are some disgustingly badass cars that show up to that, but run a street car class. You know, if you got the class that I'm looking at, most cars are running I think 850 is the cutoff because they're only 850 cert cages and it's a street car class. 1 power adder, which I'm going to have a 80mm Borg Warner turbo setup. So that's always been a dream. So that's part of the reason this car is being built, and I'm building it to drag week's class. So I've got stock floor pan, stock trunk pan, and all that I'm putting back in the car. So yeah, you never know. It's going to be a street car and I'm going to drive it. Might put a radio in it. Put a couple of 6x9s in the package tray or something to listen to, but for now I'm just going to smooth everything out. So this, I have a new perimeter trim for this that would have your speedometer and your headlight switch and all that. Like I said, I think I said earlier, I'm just going to cut out and put the Holley Dominator dash straight in the face of there. So these I painted. The glove box door I just actually painted. You have to trim, so with this dash cover, it wraps around into the glove box door, so you end up having to trim a 1/16 off of both sides and the top of your glove box door. So I sat out here tonight and just kind of, just a hair at a time, just kind of took a 4-inch grinder with a pad on it and just like just a little bit at a time, and kept test fitting it until it literally came out perfect, and the gap is perfect all the way around. So I just dusted it flat black to match everything else. The panel here is actually going to get carbon fiber wrapped once I put the switch in there. Well, I'll drill the holes for the switch and everything and then wrap it, and then I'm going to epoxy it in from the back side. So yeah, should be pretty cool, man. Considering what this dash looked like to what it looks like now is 2 totally different ball games. So I'm really glad I didn't spend I think it's like 800 and something bucks just for the dash shell, and then you need all the pieces to go in, the trim pieces. It's over $1,000 to do a complete dash from scratch. So pretty stoked with how this one came out, man. It looks really good. I'm gonna put it in the car this week, So it's basically just been a waiting game to do the roll cage. There's so many little things that have to be done before the roll cage can go in the car. And I didn't even think about them all, you know, like the dash. Once the roll cage goes in the car, it's going to be really hard to get this dash out of the car. Headliner, you know, I didn't even think about it. I started figuring out the cage and was like, you know, if I put the cage in and I put it too high, I can never put a headliner back in this car. So I basically stopped a couple weeks ago and just made a list of everything that needs to be done before the cage. Body mounts, you know, once I tie the floor to the frame, to the cage and all that, you're not picking the body up off the car ever again. So body mounts had to get done. So I had to stop, order a set of body mounts for the whole car, and headliner, some trim pieces around the inside need to be at least put in, and then set the cage height where I want it, and then I can pull the headliner back out, but at least I'll know it'll fit back in when it's time. So all that stuff's coming. The rest of the dash trim's coming. The headliner's on its way. The A-pillar trim and B-pillar trim is on its way. The sail panels are on their way. So I can put all that stuff in the car and then test fit the cage, make the main hoop fit, make the ceiling hoop fit. Once all that's ready, I'll pull the headliner and everything back out, finish the cage, and then reassemble when I'm done. So it's all on its way. So hopefully I should have some bunch of packages coming like Monday, Tuesday. I had the trim for here that goes around the perimeter of this, and just put a hair too much pressure on it the other night when I was trimming it out to fit the Holly dash in it, and broke it in half. So found an aftermarket one online and ordered it. So yeah, like I said, this will go back in the car this weekend. It should look really nice. And what's up, guys? Dash is done. So I made the switch panel, wrapped it in carbon fiber, put all the switches in, start button. The dash is completely back together except the gauge cluster I'm waiting for should be here. I think I said it shipped yesterday, so it should be here by the weekend. I'll get it trimmed out, get the Holly screen mounted in the dash, but here's the dash. Came out really, really nice. So this is one of those covers that wraps around your old existing dash where it's all cracked and destroyed. Like I say, they don't fit great, but if you're willing to take a little extra time, you can really make it fit really nice. So you can't see any of the old dash now. I kind of took a rasp and cleaned all that out. So if you do stuff like that, it comes out really nice. And like I say, a full dash is over $1,000 with everything. This was $179. So you can see where it comes up a little short right here, but I think what I'm going to do is trim this off right here and get rid of the bottom of this. It's where the ashtray used to mount, and that sits so flat down to the bottom of the trans tunnel, you'll never know that was ever there. So might do a little custom trimming, but the glove box works. Made sure we got it to where it still opens and closes and goes back to normal. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Looks really, really nice. Like I say, this bezel's on its way here, and then I'll cut the center of it out. I think it's 10 inches wide by 7 or something like that. The Holly, whatever the Holly screen is, or 6.5 by 4 or something like that. So basically this whole center area will just be a display for the Holly Dominator computer. This will be fuel pumps and fans, whatever I need. And you got your ignition, push button start, shut the car off. So simple, basic, should work perfect. But yeah, happy with how it came out. This was tan originally, so I did vinyl dye on all the, this is all the original stuff. I vinyl dyed it all satin black or matte black, so it has just a little shine to it. It actually looks like you just wiped it with Armor All, even though you didn't. So, which is really nice. I think it'll be easy to clean. It's got enough of a sheen to it that you can clean it. Fingerprints and stuff won't stick to it. So, pretty stoked, man. But that'll do it. I'm done. I'm going in. I'm tired. See y'all later.